Good evening, Commonwealth. Thank you for watching the Channel 2 News. I'm Bob Coldine, topping this newscast tonight. The Board of Regents wrangles with deep budget cuts to the college. Also tonight, the Coast Guard gets a new man in charge, and we are going to introduce you to him. And how art thou? Looking for stress release? Try this and heal thyself. In sports, one sport now on the outside wants to get on the inside. We'll have all these stories inside the news later. Watch.
48 hours. That's all we get in a week. But those 48 hours, we try to make them last forever. How? By filling them fast with all the right stuff. With a lot of laughter, a little drama, some adventure, and a whole lot of love.
Dad, Mom's here.
It happens pretty quick.
Bye, Dad.
But it's cool. Because the rest of the week, we talk about our plans.
You want to go to the beach?
On how to make the next 48 hours last us a lifetime.
Choose the right seat and reduce the risk of injury to your child. Infants need to be in the rear-facing car seats. Keep them here until they outgrow the seat. A forward-facing car seat has a harness. This will help limit your child's forward movement during a crash. As your child grows, you can move them into a booster seat, but make sure they are in the back seat. Before using a seat belt, make sure the belt can fit your child properly. The lap belt must lie snugly across the upper thighs and the shoulder belt across the shoulder and chest. Keep your child in the back seat at least through age 12. It's the safest place.
Buckle up. Every trip, every time.
Okay. Can you take me to Alan, please?
Attention passengers of flight AJ3004, your flight has been delayed.
Woo! It's the flavor that makes you go, woo. McDonald's new spicy barbecue glazed tenders and chicken sandwich. Made with tender, juicy, all-white meat chicken.
Available in 4, 6, or 10-piece chicken tenders. Try the spicy barbecue crispy chicken sandwich too.
Hafaday Tarawami and good evening, Commonwealth. Today is Friday, September the 20th, 2019. The NMI Board of Regents met today to discuss recovery efforts, 2020 operations, and of course, the local buzzword these days, austerity.
NMC is currently undergoing austerity because they were not given the full amount of the 15% of allocated budget of fiscal year 2019. They have been receiving portions of the allocated funds, but as of now, they are owed about $3.3 million from the central government, according to NMC's interim president.
We actually are currently on austerity, and so we've reduced expenses all across campus, and one of those expenses was the salary expenses. So on every Friday, NMC observes austerity from 12 to 5 p.m.
The board also took a unanimous vote on the 2020 operations budget, which included a 15% contingency plan. Over the years, they maintained it at 5%, but because of financial uncertainty, they increased it to 15%.
The budget that the board just approved a few minutes ago approves the spending plan for fiscal year 2020 for the revenue, intuition that we are projecting for fiscal year 2020. Now, does that mean that we won't make any adjustments between now and next fiscal year? Absolutely not. We have to see what other critical expenses or things that happen externally that may impact NMC's budget.
Elliptical also reported the progress on their short-term recovery efforts, where they have already spent more than $1 million and presented their long-term recovery plan, which is estimated to cost at least $75 to $8 million.
We both discussed short-term recovery, meaning a lot of the emergency repairs and temporary repairs that we've made to be able to continue the classes and instructional programs and services for our students. And many of that, of course, have occurred in the past 11 months since the typhoon. And then I also gave them an update on where we are with the long-term recovery, with the construction and design and funding for the new facilities that we have and that we plan to have in the next few years.
Here at NMC, I'm Sally Limis reporting for KSPN.
Thank you, Sally. The Coast Guard is a small but significant player in keeping our waters safe. A new supervisor is behind the wheel. Our Ashley McDowell has this story.
Lieutenant Eugene Chung moved to Saipan from South Korea, assuming the role of a supervisor, Marine Safety Detachment. And as a supervisor, some of the responsibilities Chung is fulfilling are:
as a supervisor, when one of our guys leaves or takes vacation, I have to be able to jump in and handle, whether it's a vessel inspection or a facility inspection or interacting with the governor's office or any other agencies. I report to Sector Guam.
The Saipan Coast Guard's office has been here since 1988, but only consists of 4 members. The different positions of the Coast Guard members on island are:
and we have a great team, Will Thomas, who handles all the vessel inspections day to day. We got John Kramer, who handles all the facilities such as mobile oil. And we got Paul Plunkett, who's been here for 10 years as a civilian, and he handles all the different exercises with the government and the local agencies here.
And some of the duties the Coast Guard here in the CNMI fulfills are:
we have 11 different statutory missions, which I'll show you in our PowerPoint later. But law enforcement, so that's FBI, we got ICE, HSI, DEA. So we work with our law enforcement partners. We work with non-law enforcement, NOAA is here. We work with National Marine Fisheries. Anything with environment, we're involved. So law enforcement, environment response, disaster response. Ice breaking is not a mission here, but we have ice breaking in Alaska. Planning, search and rescue, of course, that's our bread and butter, and on and on.
Lieutenant Chung says he is excited to be on our island of Saipan and plans to fulfill at least 3 years here as a supervisor.
Well, Super Typhoon U2 struck the CNMI almost a year ago, but there are still many in the community working on recovering. And art is one of the powerful tools that help in that process. Again, Ashley McDowell has this story.
Art is not just, how do I say this? It's not just an image. Each one tells a story. And I believe, or there's been a lot of projects too in the States that I know if we apply them here and convert it to how our artists do their work here, we can use art to help do healing. For example, performing arts, expression, that's expression arts, visual arts, just some kind of to reflect, reconnect with the old, how it was before, and now that we're recovering from the storm.
The Department of Community and Cultural Affairs Commonwealth Council for Arts and Culture is launching a program to help artists and organizations still recovering from Super Typhoon U2 get back on their feet. It's called the Recovery and Art Healing Grant Program.
To assist artists get back on track, they are able to come in, apply for a grant to buy lost materials, whether it's uniform, equipment, we just got the forms ready, for them to come in. But basically, this grant is to help us recover from the storm and try to be as normal, as fast as we can.
A way to reconnect the community together through art.
Art is culture and art is tradition. So if we don't maintain it, we're probably gonna lose it in the future. So we have to start by teaching our kids traditions. So just knowing where you are and your identity.
The grants are made possible through funding from the National Endowment for Arts located in Washington, D.C., which will provide $289,800 for art healing grants to the islands of Saipan, Tinian, and Rota.
We are already working on planning for the annual grant for next year. This grant was just strictly for the recovery process.
The CCAC recovery grants will cover fiscal year 2019-2020 and will focus on 3 areas.
The first one is public art, that's artworks anywhere out in the public. The second one is artist recovery, which allows the artists to come in and apply for a grant to replace their materials that they lost during the storm. The third one is healing art.
And the criteria to receive a grant is?
The first one is they must be a registered artist with our office. The second one is they must show evidence of residency, at least 2 years living Saipan, Tinian, and Rota. The third one is dance number. That requirement we can assist and show them the steps on how to get one.
Artists can start applying within the next 2 weeks. For more information or to apply for a grant, contact CCAC at 322-9982. Reporting for KSPN, I'm Ashley McDowell.
All right, coming up after the break, we go indoors to honor the outdoors. Let them eat cake. They did. Stay tuned.
Get the phone plan you're looking for at IT&E. Stay connected with the strongest, widest, and most reliable network in the Marianas. Stream, share, play, shop, and surf the web with super fast 4G LTE data. Whether you need just a few gigabytes of data to get by, or if you want to go further with unlimited data, there's a plan for you. You'll always get the best price. Visit any IT&E store or call us to learn more. IT&E. Explore your world.
As the world's global temperature increases, sea levels are rising. The warmer temperatures cause ice on continental shelves to melt and seawater to expand. We are especially vulnerable because sea level doesn't rise evenly around the world, and it will actually be higher here in the Sinamay. Already our shorelines and low-lying areas are experiencing coastal erosion and landward flooding during severe storm events. But don't worry, it's not all doom and gloom. There are plenty of things we can do now to prepare for these changes. We can elevate buildings and build further away from the shoreline. Planting beach morning glories and mangroves will reduce coastal erosion. Healthy coral reefs protect our shorelines by buffering against strong waves from severe storms. We can also make an emergency plan to use with our families in case of severe weather events. Climate change is scary, but with an informed Sinamay, we can work together to reduce our risk to these changes.
You deserve more. I know it's been hard. Come on, let's go for a ride.
Hi, welcome to Dow Rent to Own.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now this feels like home.
Dial Rent to Own.
Making lives better since 1987.
Welcome back to the weekend edition of the KSPN2 News. Thank you for watching. The Green Gala celebrates those who go above and beyond in protecting the environment with their biggest fundraiser of the year. Last Friday night at the Fiesta Resort and Spa, supporters of the cause filled the hall to praise these green activists. Green Gala is a time to look good for a good reason. Individuals and businesses packed the Hibiscus Hall for this awards banquet put on by the Micronesia Islands Nature Alliance, a local agency that spearheads a multiple of environmental programs throughout the year, working with community volunteers to make Saipan a cleaner, nicer place to live. Tickets to this fundraiser helped support their programs, which was supplanted by heavy bidders in the silent auction featuring artwork and cell phones. The highlight of the ceremony, the naming of this year's 3 award winners. The Green Business Award went to PDM, Kimpachi, Saipan Awadori, under the direction of the tireless Misako Kamata.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this year's award goes to PDM Promoters Inc.,
also known as Kimpachi Restaurant and Saipan Awadori Team.
High school science teacher Tracy Burgess from Saipan Southern High bagged the Environmental Champion for Conservation Award.
Tracy Burgess!
The Environmental Hero Award could also be called the Environmental Heroes Award, since it went to all of the students at Hopwood Middle School for their aggressive tree planting and recycling.
The winners of this year's Environmental Heroes Award is Hopwood Junior High
The biggest surprise of the evening was not the selection of these heroes, it was the fake bread fruit on everyone's table.
Let me cut you a piece of cake.
How you like it? Oh, by the way, there was breadfruit on the menu. It looked like cake. All right, let's find out what's going on Guam.
Hafade CNMI, here's what's making news on Guam. A military couple whose son was born in 2014 at the Naval Hospital on Guam has been awarded an $11.5 million settlement in a medical negligence lawsuit. According to an article in the Navy Times, the federal government agreed to the payment, which will go toward the care of the child who reportedly suffers from severe brain and permanent brain damage. The family now lives in Virginia. Thursday afternoon, the Port Authority of Guam Board voted to approve moving forward with 2 projects. Port GM Rory Respicio tells KUAM an award was granted to NC Macario for concrete hardening projects in the port yard. The $345,000 bid award will cover work for load centers, smokestacks, roll-up doors, and leaking transformers. The port was also green-lighted to move forward with the Hotel Wharf rehab project, and the board approved $65,000 for its owner-agent engineer for supper services on wharf projects. Legal matters scheduled to be discussed in executive session according to the meeting agenda were tabled until the next meeting. Port Legal Counsel Joseph McDonald was out sick, and a legal counsel must be present when legal matters are discussed. That's according to Respicio. A second satellite launch of British billionaire Sir Richard Branson's Virgin Orbit business will take place from Guam in the next few months. A report by Asia Times says the Launcher One system test will be the first Air Force launch for the company. As we reported earlier this year, Virgin Orbit representatives met with Adelup officials to discuss the possibilities of using Guam as a hub for its satellite launches. And stay connected via our KUAM mobile news app. Follow us on any of the social media platforms and sign up for our weekly email newsletter, KUAM Digital Digest on KUAM.com. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor LaConta.
Thank you, Nestor. All right, coming up, a building makes KSPN2 sports history. Oh my goodness, just wait to see this.
faster, easier to use. With live TV, recordings, video on demand, and streaming apps, all in a single place. When you're looking for something new, recommendations are tailored to you. Voice-powered, personalized results to find what you want faster. And the unlimited potential of smart home. The new experience from TiVo is here.
Welcome to the Marianas Eye Institute. Our office on Beach Road is staffed with U.S. certified eye care technicians, doctors that have received national recognition, and a friendly, professional staff that will look after you and your loved ones. With over 1,200 eyeglass frames to choose from and an in-house lab, we can make most glasses in about an hour. And we even feature a mobile clinic to bring eye care to you. Keep your eyes healthy and strong with professional eye care at the Marianas Eye Institute.
Traveling or laying over on Guam? Don't wait around. Zip into Guam Adventures Zipline Park inside the Hilton Resort and Spa. Guides will take you through a series of zips, starting with a mountain course and then zip over the ocean with spectacular views of Tumon Bay. 6 zip lines in all deliver a thrilling experience, and it's family friendly, so bring the kids ages 6 and up. You'll love the security of double lines and a new braking system to make riding smoother. The towers are named after the islands in the Marianas. We call it the Island Hopper. Your guides will teach you what you need to know to soar through the jungle with a bird's eye view. Best of all, for residents of Saipan, Tinian, and Rota, you can book this experience at 20% savings. Log on to GuamAdventures.com and during checkout, use offer code HAFA20. Book it and zip it today. We'll even pick you up.
Buenas sports fans.
Buenas sports fans, consider this. The only sport the NMI medaled in at the Pacific Games was tennis, and we're the favorites to repeat. Yet when Saipan hosts the mini games in 2 years, just when our young team is peaking, tennis is not on the schedule. The Pacific Games Council has approved only 6 sports for the 2021 games, and tennis is not on the list. National tennis coach Jeff Race has first-hand tournament experience with this sport in our region. Tennis usually considered an individual sport, but he says when you're playing for your flag, it is a true team sport.
That's why I love the Pacific Games. I love the Micronesia Games because most of the time tennis is so individual, but when you go and play these games, you get a fantastic camaraderie going. And you know, we played every single day for 15 days. It's the only sport at the Pacific Games that goes like that. And so you're just busy from the time that you get up at 5:30 in the morning until one day we didn't get back until 2 a.m. and you know we had to be up fairly early the next day. So it's a grind. You got to be in great shape for those events.
Tennis, listed as one of the Pacific Games' core sports, is played almost everywhere. Because of its popularity, the tournament is chock full of players.
There were really 3 obstacles that we had to overcome, and one was that we had to figure out how to fit an event that just took us 15 days to barely complete into 7 days for the games. So I sat down and I figured out a format that would get us through in 7 days. So it involves playing. For one thing, we're going to have fewer countries, and there won't be as many people here playing in the tennis event, which will make it easier. The other thing that we're going to have to do is we're going to have to shorten. We're going to have to play probably short sets, which is to 4 instead of 6 in the early rounds of both the team competition and in the early rounds of the individual competition, so that we can fit more matches in a day.
He says a cutoff date for adding tennis would be probably around next year in June, something though that would require some upgrade of facilities.
Or not. So one of the other obstacles that we needed to overcome was to have the courts at American Memorial Park resurfaced, and I had a couple meetings with the park personnel. I got a message from Barbara Alberti, who is the superintendent of both the Guam and Saipan National Park Service parks, and she indicated, she said that she is very optimistic that the funding is going to be available and that we're going to be able to get the courts resurfaced on time. So that's fantastic news.
He says the cost to include tennis isn't that great, a few thousand, but he adds this as an extra consideration.
I mean, we have a strong baseball team. Not everybody in the Pacific is totally into baseball, though. So I expect that we might win a medal in baseball. We might. But we just came from the bigger games and the bigger Pacific games, and we cleaned up. We dominated the Pacific games, especially in men's tennis. And our team is only going to be better in 2 years, Bob. And so, you know, there is a possibility that we could hold these games on Saipan and win no medals, okay? But if we have tennis, we are guaranteed to win medals, and quite a few of them. Every player that was on this team will be back to play in the mini games if we have tennis, and they'll all be better.
All right, good luck with that. All right, hip hip hooray, for today is Friday, the day we fry your brains with the top plays of the week. Coming in at number 3, it's a gymnasium. That's right, sports fans. The MHS gym has been off limits for sports for 4 years until this week when PSS launched a new high school girls volleyball league. The MHS gym, top play number 3, and it deserves it. It's the first time a gym's been on the top plays of the week. Coming in at number 2. High-flying Douglas Schmidt blocks that shot all the way to the MHS cafeteria. Schmidt, top play number 2. And we have 2 twice as good top plays of the week from Jakarta, Indonesia, U16 boys. On the left, Kotaro Goto scores on Brunei. On the right, Jim Maniago with the blast against Indonesia. The top plays of the week go! Here's the windup and the pitch.
I don't believe what I just saw!
So what are you going to do this year? At Gold's, a dedicated fitness studio with a cushioned floor is perfect for group exercise. The cardio room features a variety of treadmills, bikes, steppers, and ellipticals. Fitness machines will help you achieve your goals, and the largest free weight area on Saipan gives you comfortable space to work out. Gold's Gym team is ready to help you get to your goals. Try harder. We know you can do it.
All right, today's high was only 83, the low 78. Heat index only 92, humidity 89%. All right, well, let's try to forecast again. Well, hopefully we'll get it right this time. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, isolated showers, south winds 5 to 15 miles an hour, high 89, low 79. Seas around 4 feet. Sunrise at 6:06, a low tide at 6:14 in the morning, a high tide 107, sunset at 6:14. That is your news, that is your sports, and that is your weather for this weekend. Have a beautiful, wonderful weekend. See you back here Monday night. Thank you for watching.